crime scene that stretches over several blocks. And we heard the U.S. Attorney here describe some of what the investigators are looking at.
It's quite a challenge. Having been up there and seen that scene, it's like a giant jigsaw puzzle created by a bomb that throws pieces of evidence across multiple city blocks. And they've got to gather it, they've got to catalog it, they've got to put it back together and try to find out what the picture of that puzzle looks like.
And that is supposed to go on for at least several more days, perhaps even in some cases weeks, as they continue to gather that evidence. Significant in all of this also is that RV, is the video, the photo that officials put out yesterday seeking answers. They were asking the public for their help in identifying that RV. Seems to have led to some significant clues for investigators. The FBI here saying that as a result of some of those clues, they have been out searching at a home here in Nashville. They are out there, and that is as a result of some of the clues that have come in. They say about 500 tips have come into the FBI and the police here, and some of them are proving very helpful.
That is good to hear. Shimon Prokopez, hopefully to get to the bottom of that. Stay right there. Let's get more now from Steve Moore. He is a former FBI supervisory special agent and a CNN law enforcement contributor. Steve, so federal investigators in Nashville sound pretty confident when they say that there's no reason to think that there's a danger of more explosions, as you just heard there from Shimon. But help us read between the lines here. Does that confidence tell you that they likely have a good line on a suspect or even a body?
Yeah, what that tells me, just armchair quarterbacking here, is they think they've got this solved. And I'll tell you the reason why is the FBI, as much as any or more than any other agency, is loath to tell people that things are safe when they can't be sure they are. If they thought they had a mad bomber out there on the loose, unidentified, they would never say that everything's safe. If they had an identified bomber that was out there that they hadn't apprehended, they certainly wouldn't tell you things are safe. The only time the FBI is ever going to say that is we got it. We've figured this one out. Right now, they are doing their due diligence to make sure that all the evidence points to the same thing.
And we just heard from that sound that Shimon played from the U.S. Attorney, who was saying that this investigation is like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. The officials on the ground were also saying they're going to start from the outermost perimeter of this blast and kind of move towards the middle. Can you walk us through how they're going to start piecing this together now that they do have at least a photo of that motorhome?
Yeah, this for the investigators is going to be brutal. This is something that I did many times in the FBI, overseas, in the U.S. And what you find is that with an explosion of this magnitude, you are going to find things a quarter mile away. You can't just pick them up and say, "Ooh, look what I found," because you have to map the type of parts you're finding and where you're finding them, because some of the parts that are closest to the bomb will be thrown the furthest. And so sometimes on the outer perimeter, a quarter mile away, sometimes a half mile away, you find parts of the bomb that are crucial. So what you're sitting looking at is, think about this, you've got half mile around where you have to walk, and you'll see some pictures of them doing this, excuse me, arm to arm, foot by foot, walking as if they are just trying to, like a marching band, trying to cover every square foot. And you are reaching down and marking and tagging evidence. And it is intricate, brutal, and it's kind of soul-crushing after a few days of this, but you continue to do it.
It sounds like it's going to be a very, very meticulous process. And Shimon, to you, are officials saying anything about a possible target or a motive, especially as we know where the RV was parked? It was right outside an AT&T transmission building.
Yeah, that is something they're looking at because of where the RV was parked and the damage that we saw, that we see on the AT&T building. they are looking to see whether or not this person was targeting the 18 and 2 building. But it's very early
saying there
in
wasn't
the
one today.
investigation, so they don't know yet what the motivation here is. They're going to go back and look through this person's history and try and figure out once they were able to learn as much as they can about this person, then perhaps they can try to put together some kind of a profile. The FBI even said they're using their analysts and agents in the behavioral assistance unit to try and get a picture of what kind of individual would be behind such an attack. There are so many different
Tried to go sideline at a 4-bit walls, but we made it. You see Polly any place?
Warning people to evacuate, playing music.
Looked like it had smell from a barrel.
Countdown, basically.
Sounds about right. Thanks, Lucas.
You remember the part?
The police were able to evacuate, thankfully, everybody to prevent any further loss of life.
Who owned that part? She owned the part? Oh, I got money. Okay.
The bombing occurred, and in the incident itself,
Ooh, that's a movie. Movie. Not that movie. Well, she beat it? I don't know, me. She beat the game already? How know the game, man? How know they get?
To make of the human tissue, could it possibly be that of the bomber?
Well, it certainly could. I believe they either have somebody in custody or they have proof that the person is deceased. When you get that human tissue, you're going to have DNA capabilities. You're going to put it on the fast track. I mean, the FBI will literally take tissue samples, fly them on a jet overnight to Washington, get the results back. They're going to find out who it is. They haven't released that kind of information. And, as you said, the profilers are out there, and I think what's going to be frustrating for a lot of people is unless this guy was aligned with some kind of radical group, you may find that it was mental illness causing paranoia, causing
Mafia 2?
and
She beat Mafia 2 also?
somebody who would do something so horrible would do it for such small things. So it's so hard to figure out who he might have been mad at or whether he was...
I beat Mafia 2. Mafia 2 in the 9 killer Mafia 2 is you go in a house, you gotta make everything white. That there the Mafia 2. Mafia 3, you kill that one dude and that's it. After that.
What did you say, Polly?
I don't think I never beat Mafia 1. Manga did. I guess what you remember.
And here we are. Here we are. Right here. That's where we are. Put me to shame, Tom. Now you're even some kind of race car driver.
We all got our...
Doing real good since you joined the family, but you know you gotta be easy, right? Me and Sam, we keep the real stuff from you.
Party shout out, you vomit.
We don't know what it's like. You get the call to see the Don and your mind's race. There's some bad shit, Tom.
We're all in this together. I do what the Don asks when he asks. Just like you.
You're like me, you can't just shut it down. Blank it out like Sam does. Go home to... No, go home to...
Wally, you're drunk. You're gonna have to clam up for your own sakes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And right now, Tennessee is actually seeing the highest
I want to yell at the lady.
I'm not helping you with that today.
Hey, new ladies! Ain't near the blue tropics.
I don't know. I ought to take you home.
The bridge. Take the bridge over the island. Ain't near the ladies. And those sweet patooties.
I don't know. Taking you home seems more classy.
Now we're talking.
Oh boy.
You should see these dames, Tom. I'll leave it to you to swim with the barracudas, Molly. You're gonna have to tell me where the hell I'm driving.
You don't know?
I don't know.
There's a blue sign.
I need more than that.
There's a blue sign and it says Blue Tropics and it's right near the docks. Pull me home. Good idea. Okay, I'm gonna.
Sweet dreams, tough guy.
Yeah, I don't feel so good.
You're right. They're very resilient people, as I learned when I was on the ground there after that tornado. Steve Moore, appreciate your expertise, and Shimon Prokopez for your reporting. Thank you. New numbers just in from the CDC. Nearly 2 million Americans have been vaccinated against the coronavirus, and nearly 10 million vaccine doses have been delivered. So, are we getting close to getting back to life as normal? We'll find out after this.
That's the call, Tom.
First, a quick programming note from peanut farmer to rocking the White House. See how America's 39th president used his passion for music to win the 1976 election. CNN film Jimmy Carter Rock and Roll President premieres Sunday, January 3rd, 7 p.m. here on CNN.
You say what? What?
I always thought
This is tough.
What game?
This is
That's obviously not a temporary fix. There's some serious psychology behind it.
I paid it.
They took a blow to make it dance.
It's the simple thing. Once I understood why I was making those choices, it was easy for me to change those habits.
I paid my Mario 2.
Naturally after that.
Things to get out of.
4 months now. I lost 27 pounds. I feel like I got my life back.
This new.com continues to wait for good. I wanted to make enough. I'd be proud to realize other people who want to learn too.
Even with success, we are a generation.
Sarah, time to go.
Protecting yourself, you're protecting others.
Rising up and working hard. All of our employees, they're all Gen Z. You made it.
What's this then?
You're crazy, Sheldon.
Tom's gonna take it.
All right.
Hey, just work here. But you'll nobody bother you.
With somebody from across the world.
Fine. It'll make you feel better, Pop. See you tomorrow. Let me get my coat.
I'll wait for you outside.
I don't know anyone walking my phone.
Talking about
I cooked it so I can stay with her. Well, maybe tomorrow's finally going to be the day we get to choose on breakfast.
Where else can you get access to the games that every night? Where else can you make a bad choice? Live games on
Did you knock on the door once? Only got so many hands here.
Where else can you watch every team? What was your team? Whenever you want. Sledgehammer on your phone, TV, or tablet. Only here on NBA League Pass. Check out a free trial December 22nd for the 29th.
That's me. Yeah, though it's not as much as last night. It's, Nona thinks you're an angel. But Dawn keeps seeing people go to waste. And this has got to be tough. Sarah told us all about it. You're a famous race driver in town. Everyone talks about you. Yeah, she's right. They do. Well, anyways, don't let the cold in you yet. I'll see you at church. Have a great evening.
Night.
Buena noche.
Closed captioning brought to you by mesobook.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book and receive so much more. Call
It's nice you do that.
1-800-831-3700.
Well, a lot of hungry people on this block.
Breaking news this afternoon, new data from Johns Hopkins University showing that 1 in 1,000 Americans have died from COVID-19, which means protection can't come soon enough for so many people. The CDC saying nearly 2 million coronavirus vaccine doses have been administered in the U.S. so far, and nearly 10 million doses have been delivered. Let's bring in CNN medical analyst Dr. Megan Ranney. She is an emergency physician at Brown University. Welcome to you, and good to see you again, Doctor. So we are in a busy holiday season. I was speaking with Atlanta International Airport, and they're telling me that Sunday will be its busiest travel day. I just gave you these numbers. What does it tell you about the pace of COVID vaccinations in the United States?
So every vaccine that gets in someone's arm gives us hopes of getting back to normalcy, but that pace is nowhere near fast enough. Remember, the federal government originally said that we'd have 20 million people vaccinated by the end of the year. We managed to get about 2 million vaccinated in the 2 weeks since we got emergency use authorization of the Pfizer vaccine, and about a week since the Moderna vaccine was approved. For us to reach those original projections, we'd have to vaccinate another 3 million people by the end of the year. Our pace is nowhere near enough for us to stave off the wave of infections and deaths that are heading our way in the next month or two. And when you think about all of this Christmas travel, that's just setting fires to the kindling that was already there. I hear a far worse month ahead in January.
And the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, estimated that up to 85% of the population to get the COVID vaccine in order to achieve herd immunity. That's quite a high number. I mean, what's it going to take to get that many people vaccinated, especially when we know there are a lot of anti-vaxxers out there?
Careful. You end up in
So there are 4 big things we need to do to reach that herd immunity number. And that's real herd immunity, not the fake stuff that is being sold by Scott Atlas. The first thing we need is for enough vaccines to be produced and purchased by the United States. So Pfizer and Moderna, we're counting on you. The second thing we need is we need that vaccine to be distributed to where it's needed. It needs to be equitably distributed across the United States. The third thing is we need the last mile logistics. Get the vaccine from those cold freezers into arms. And this is where the devil really is in the details. We need information technology systems to track and get vaccinated. We need those special freezers and refrigerators to store the vaccine. And of course, we need all the supplies to get those vaccines in arms. Lastly, we need people to be willing to get the vaccine. Current surveys are really encouraging. They say that upwards of 70% of Americans are willing to get it, which is great, and I hope it stays that way long enough for them to actually get the shot.
You want to talk to?
Only 2 million people have been vaccinated so far.
There you go. Take that.
We reach that 80 or 85% number.
How do you think the rollout is going right now? And I ask you this because there was a
you want to talk to?
interviewed nurses and doctors and other hospital workers, several hospitals in New York, talked about the
Yeah.
at how the vaccine was being distributed at these facilities, that the hospital worker is less exposed,
Oh, it did, big eye.
less risk than I do, and they got the vaccine first.
Come on, bitch. I dare you. How did you get the 4 points? Oh, do so. Come on. Yeah. What now? What now? Come on. Oh, what? That's all? I'll pick a number for you. Come on. Nope. Do so. Come on. Oh, sorry. What the hell? Oh, right. Oh, okay. Nope. Sorry. Yeah.
That's what I got, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. Eat that.
Should be done? Should there be federal guidelines as to how it should be distributed, or should it just be being done right now?
You got a good right hook, I'll give you that. You're bleeding. Come up to my place. I'll take a look.
Unfortunately, it's then left up to the states to decide exactly how that's utilized. And even within that, right now, up to the individual hospitals to decide how to prioritize these. That is right.
Well, you gonna come in and take a load off or what?
To try to get ahead of the line instead of the people that actually need it. Teachers, nurses, grocery store workers, they should be given priority over
The bank's
business
closed,
owners
Slugger.
or people
I'm just
who
gonna patch you up, is all.
home and save
Now
your
go sit down on the couch,
should
roll up your sleeve.
and we
I'm
should
getting my
have better
sewing
funding
kit.
to help make that distribution happen.
More detailed federal guidance. Dr. Megan Randy, appreciate you and your expertise. Thank you very much.
Doesn't look too bad.
Well, the U.S. continues to administer
You need
the
something for the
COVID-19
pain?
vaccine, hoping to get a grip on the crippling
You don't
pandemic.
have
But
to
the
do
race
that.
to get Americans vaccinated may
I can
face
see it
a steep
fucking hurts,
hill
Tom.
in
You
vulnerable
wanna pretend it don't go ask Polly to
That
step
is
you
next.
up.
You're live on the CNN Newsroom.
What do you got?
New year,
Compliments
new
of the
bedroom.
dime.
Save up to 15% on a cozy Casper mattress, plush pillows, and the softest bedding you'll ever feel. Wake up on the right side of the bed this year. Shop the New Year's sale with 15% off today.
Take another.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for him. A better
Alright.
father we serve.
You gonna grin and bear this?
She's serving now. We also made USAA for military
Good.
spouses and their kids.
Because I don't need the little old lady next door complaining with the super about all the racket.
We're Carvana,
Just
the
be quick
company
about
who
it,
invented car
And it's
vending
gonna take
machines
as long
and
as it
buying cars
takes.
100% online.
Sloppy
Now
old
we've created a
Stitch.
brand new way
The
for you to
ugliest
sell your
car.
car. Whether it's a
You're
year
right.
old or a few years old, we want to buy your car.
You stitched up a lot of
So
fence.
go to Carvana and enter your license plate.
Just my
answer
father.
a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real
I
offer.
would really go after Luigi
When you're ready,
sometimes.
we'll come to you, pay you
He
on the
got pretty
spot,
good
and
at ducking
pick up
dinner
your car.
plates.
That's it.
So
So ditch the
one
old
day
way of
she
doing your
stabbed
car
him with a
and say
knitting needle.
hello to the new way at
Right through the
Carvana.
hand.
Your car's
What for?
long, and there's
Nice.
nothing like it. Crisp, refreshing, sand out
She
of
wasn't
Boston.
ugly.
A perfect balance.
Jealous
of
drunk.
all the
Sorry, I was going to buy that.
There.
$10.
Not my best work, but the whole tip.
It's gotta be someone that you buy if nothing else.
Doesn't ultimately it is. That's why
You're
Carter
staying over. Can't have you stumbling through the neighborhood tired.
and cars
Not
are
when the hoods are out looking for you anyways.
And to be great on car gurus, you really have to earn it.
Yeah,
All
okay.
10 cars have what it takes to be rated good deal or higher.
Got an extra blanket or
So you no
something?
longer wonder if that car you like
No.
is a good deal, because it truly
And the
is.
heat's out.
Go to Car Gurus today and shop safely with Car Gurus contactless services.
Need visuals to help your work stand out? Get 10 free images from Shutterstock. Design websites, emails, social posts, quickly and easily. Shutterstock. Start your free trial today.
Good night. Better get
As
into
of
it.
this afternoon, 1 in 1,000
This can't
Americans
stand.
have died from coronavirus.
Sarah's okay, boss. I took care of it.
Mothers, fathers,
She started
sisters,
working hard
brothers,
before she
all
could see
dead
over the bar.
Less than a year after the
I don't
first
have a daughter of
American
my own,
died
Tom.
from coronavirus.
I'd do
Now,
anything
with
for
2
Luigi's
vaccines
little girl.
authorized in the U.S.,
So
it
would
is a
I.
race to administer vaccinations across
We
the
all
country
would.
in hopes of getting a
That's right,
grip
boss.
on the crippling
Anything for Luigi
pandemic.
and Sam.
Do those
The
bastards
virus
think
may
this
face
is
a
fucking
steeper
Luna Park or
hill in
something?
vulnerable communities.
I'll rip them apart with my own hands.
Takes a look at
Our business is protection. But who's going to pay up when they learn we can't even protect one of our own as she walks home from work?
So what do you want us to do?
Wrong way,
Teach these
Luigi.
boys a
Yep.
lesson. Break every bone in their bodies, put them in wheelchairs, bust their faces up so bad even their mothers can't look at them without screaming.
We know where to hold up.
Hello?
Your friend on the phone says when she's up looking in the
how
trash
you?
and Big Biff will know something. Tommy,
He ain't here.
go to Vinny, get us some gear.
Meet me at Biff's place.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Leave these punks laying in the street.
Bye.
I want everyone to know
Who that?
we do
Shane.
not allow mad
What you want?
dogs to run
You
wild
want
in
me
our
to tell
neighborhood.
Tom call her?
You got it, boss.
Also among the city's most violent neighborhoods.
Is it even worth the time? Okay, you hear
Some of these sons of bitches could still be out on turf.
you have to get out
check
of your
that.
car during
Sure
carjacking,
they
and
are.
you just don't do it.
Just down the street, Loretto Hospital was host to the city's first COVID-19 vaccination.
Sure, let's go bust
And
some
the first to
heads.
set up a West Side community testing site back in April, one they plan to soon turn into a community vaccination site.
In order to stop this virus eventually, we all have to do our part. We want to make sure we involve everybody. We're experiencing two types of pandemic, and that's violence.
Hello, Shan said for you to call her cell
It's an
phone.
issue leadership continues to
Shan!
Where any part of the state
Your auntie, yeah.
Here for some heaters, Tal.
Alright.
Nah, already going in here.
Let's make sure
Well,
that
me, you gotta give a beating to some punks that been on our turf.
that have made
I don't wanna pull
these
this.
neighborhoods.
I don't know. Whatever he do is on your own, ain't it?
That's
Parts of the downtown Chicago area have a life expectancy of up to 90 years old.
Sam turned over some guy's
Then, just about 10 miles down the road near here on Chicago's south side, the life expectancy goes down to 59.9. That's a difference of about 30 years, which that same NYU analysis says is the largest gap in the country.
All of a sudden, this virus came and took my sister away.
Emma Washington is almost 80 years old. She lost her sister to COVID-19 in September and her brother to COVID the day before Christmas Eve. And now she's considering what getting a vaccine is going to look like, with her pharmacy over a mile away and no car to get her there.
I have to take one bus, then I had to take another bus. Because it was only one place.
News report on the rising crime figures and the reaction from the governor's mansion.
Now she mostly has
The
her
numbers state
medications
in
in
black and
but
white
this
that
isn't
crime is on the rise all
One
over the
study
state.
based on data
Many
from 2000
commentators are blaming the rise in
Yeah, your chocolate cake.
Yep. What you got?
on the economic downturn and resulting social deprivation. In the greater Lost Heaven area last year, there was a sharp increase in the number of gang-related incidents, and the chief of police was moved to create a gang task force, known informally as the Rat Catcher.
You know I paid this before, right? Wait.
Criticism for his handling of the increase in violent crime thinks otherwise.
It will go here too.
There can be no dispute that times are hard for many. Jobs are fewer and farther between. But that simply is
Then they bought my for the 2 to PS3.
in fact, I feel
When they bought my for the
has the potential of
3 to PS3, they bought my for the 2 to PS3. And they bought my for the 2 to, and after that, they bought my for the 3 to PS4. It might be another map again they're gonna make though.
Facing eviction without another COVID deal. So the president's endgame as the self-proclaimed deal maker refuses to sign a fine.
Oh, you know who this is, right? Wait. The dude I pay, you know the dude I paid, right? You know who he is, right?
Decades. We're going to see if she has some insight into what Trump might be thinking. You're live in
You know who he is, right? Wait. Okay, you know paid Mafia?
These days, we need more than an education.
Upstairs.
So that's what we do. Introducing career services live.
Some information.
Wait, you never paid Mafia? Well, let me get the feed. This right here is Vito. Vito, this how he first got into the Mafia game. Vito, or the first one, he go at deal. On the second one, he was a professor. Then on the third one, on the third Mafia, Vito was retired. He retired. So yeah.
What was that? You and Biff got something going on. You getting the suits from Mexico?
No, idiot. The suits are moving from a lockup downtown. Neighbors from Mexico. Originally, anyways, he lives in Albany.
I know about this.
Yeah,
I might go back through the game anyway. I like it.
Yeah. No, I guess if I don't, all we gotta do is find the other guys in Chinatown who look like this.
Nearly 40,000 veterans struggle like I did. But with the help of Rocket Mortgage and Brokerage, I can start funded federal homelessness. Yours can too. Join us. Visit a home for every vet.org to get involved.
It's used a lot.
2021. Ready for this? New Year's Eve Live with Anderson.
He put the mailbox up?
I got a very good feeling about this one.
I got a damn good feeling about this one.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
Did he put the mailbox up?
Yeah.
Yo,
I don't know where he gets it
It's the
from.
guy from the other night. We gotta go.
He put it up.
Fit your ass, motherfucker. Don't run. Oh, hell no. Oh, bitch ass fight. Come on, bitch. How you like this? I bet you're down there. Get your ass. Come on. What's down there? Get your ass back. Yeah. How you like it? I'll play your play. Oh, I saw that. What's wrong with you? Design. Oh, hell yeah.
Over the fence, Tom, before they get away.
Oh, wait. When you go, you get home?
Yeah.
You think I didn't tell you?
I go north, you go south.
I go on through there.
Barbara Rez joining me now, and she is the former executive vice president of the Trump organization and author of Tower of Lies, what my 18 years of working with Donald Trump revealed. Barbara, welcome, good to have you. A source tells CNN Trump is supposed very resolute in wanting to fight the electoral college, and he's still not over. This isn't a strategy or some long game. I mean, this is his state of mind, isn't it?
You know, I'm not sure. I know that he is, that he lost an election, and so he's trying to make up for that somehow. And I'm sorry, but I am.
Mafia real good. I like Mafia.
The problem with the audio, yeah, we're going to try to reconnect that and try to get you back. It is an important conversation, Barbara Rez, but we're going to leave it there for now and take a short break, and we'll be back.
Some things are good to know. Where to find the cheapest gas in town, and which supermarket gives you the most bang for your buck. Something else that's good to know? If you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may be able to get more health care benefits through a Humana Medicare Advantage plan. Call the number on your screen now and speak to a licensed Humana sales agent to see if you qualify. Learn about plans that could give you more health care benefits than you have today. Depending on the plan you choose, you can have your doctor, hospital, prescription drug offerings in one convenient plan. From Humana, a company with nearly 60 years of experience in the healthcare industry. You'll have lots of doctors and specialists to choose from. And if you have Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana plan may give you other important benefits. Depending on where you live, they could include dental, vision, and hearing coverage. You may also get rides to plan-approved locations, home-delivered meals after an inpatient hospital stay, a monthly allowance for purchasing healthy food and beverages, also allowance for healthy wellness items, everything from over-the-counter medications and vitamins to first aid items and personal care products. Best of all, if you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may qualify for multiple opportunities throughout the year to enroll. So if you want more from Medicare, call the number on your screen now
to speak with a licensed Humana sales agent. Learn about Humana plans that could give you more healthcare benefits, including coverage for prescription drugs, dental care, eye exams and glasses, hearing aids, and more. A licensed Humana sales agent will walk you through your options, answer any questions you have, and, if you're eligible, help you enroll over the phone. Call today, and we'll also send this free guide. Humana, a more human way to help. Closed captioning brought to you by Sokolov Law. Call 800-891-5400 today. $30 billion in trust money has been set.
Guys, get down! Oh, get out of here! Shit, we gotta get to a car, Tom! Ram!
This is CNN Breaking News.
You are live in the CNN newsroom.
Come on, we can't lose them!
Brand new information, breaking news right now from the massive investigation going on in Nashville. That is where an enormous explosion shook the city at dawn on Christmas morning.
Oh, careful, Tom. The road's a river. Don't worry, I got this.
No accident.
More of these guys!
Is Nashville right now, and we have new information.
You ever see guys piss their pants this quick? If you look through the rain, you can see it dripping out the back of their car.
This bomb, who blew this bomb up, died in that explosion.
Come on, you're
You know, they didn't even make, wait. They didn't even make Godfather. Oh my God. Godfather was the best game I ever played. You thought I could do the butt.
Come on, you're better than this. Play some damn players. These guys are gonna regret they ever set eyes on Sarah, huh? Come on, you're better than this. They think they're gonna get away, huh? They ain't seen you drive like I have. Come on, you're better than this.
They caught it so everything. They got a fire car. They caught so everything.
Dumb son of a bitch just wrecked himself. Well, they're not walking away from that.
Right, and that is something that they're looking at. They don't know for certain. Certainly there's not anything that's standing out to them. And this is the people that we talked to that said, this is the reason why perhaps this person did it. They're still working through many of the details, working through the person's history to try and figure out exactly what would have prompted.
Please, I don't want to fucking die, man.
One theory perhaps could be that the person was targeting the
Polly.
You can't feel sorry for these animals. Not like this would plug you if you give them the chance. You gotta pull the trigger without thinking.
Cell phone service, AT&T cell phone service,
Yes, I'm out.
have all been knocked out for more than 24 hours now.
This one's finished.
Also, 911 communications were affected. So, as a result of all that, given the size of the damage at the AT&T building, that is something that investigators are exploring. They've not
Party. He was a party guy. Party. You know how I can shoot the bag.
Oh, Christ, Tom.
They're working on a lot of different theories.
Snap out of
They
it.
gotta go backwards now to try and figure out what was going on.
Remember what those guys wanted?
Exactly why ultimately they did this. They did it.
Yeah.
So many strange
Just,
little details in all
Hey,
of it. And that is also
get out of here before the bugs show up, huh?
Great reporting and getting this from your sources that this was likely a suicide bombing in Nashville. Shimon Prokopez, stay with us for a minute.
Farm and
Let's head
foul
over now to Frank
over China.
Montoya and bring him
Shopper
into
Cup,
this
he better get
conversation.
into it.
Frank is a former FBI special agent who once ran the Bureau's Seattle division. Frank, thank you so much for being with us. So now that it seems like this was a suicide bombing, what's the work that's coming up next? Is this about the priority identifying who this person might be from the human tissue?
So there's a lot, you want to identify the individual. There's going to be a lot of work done on the how and the why. That's really significant right now, especially when you contain the threat, so to speak, where you know that it's one individual perhaps acting alone. So now you want to know how and why.
Can't afford this life anymore. Just getting lucky.
How was it built?
Give you a chance to win your money back.
What kind of,
You want in,
how was it
boss?
detonated? Looking at the
We have business to discuss,
of that bomb, and then the why.
We're in it,
What was the motivation for
One of our
doing it?
associates at the coroner's office sent this over.
At the time that it was
Corpse's
done.
name
And for what
is
reason?
Giorgi.
This guy's beef, or
You
this
recognize
individual's
him?
beef as far as
Sure.
reasons
That's
for
one of the
doing
punks we ran out of the neighborhood.
And Shimon, to bring it in again, are investigators or officials using the word
Cops aren't thanking us. We
terrorism
did
at
him a
all?
favor. The guy was a rapist, boss.
Yeah? Well, he was also a city councilor's son. You want to drive a politician into Morello's arms? There's no better way than killing off his family.
Christ. It gets worse. You left another guy in the wreck?
Yeah, man.
He was dead when we got there.
You gonna tell me he was the president's nephew or something?
2 in the head, Paulie. If you're gonna do a job, do it right.
He made it? Yes. He spent the week in St. Mary's, but he pulled through.
Can he point a finger at either of you?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Look, we're gonna kill 2 birds with one blast. Galati's funeral's today at St. Michael's. Sam, you're gonna attend. Sit in the back and try to spot the lucky bastard.
How will I recognize him?
He'll be the one who just crawled away from a car wreck.
His arm is broken. Look for a sling.
Sam's gonna need a little distraction if he's gonna clean up your mess.
Sending Tommy to dip his wick?
It's a brothel. A gentleman's club, just down the street from St. Michael's. Madonna has invested a lot of money in it over the years.
So me and Sam.
Regardless, the owner has suddenly decided to do business with Morello instead of us. You want me to go remind him of his obligations?
Yes. Then blow the place up.
What?
Morello wants to take businesses away from us? He'll inherit craters.
Look, Tom, we can't send Paulie and Sam since all the ladies know them already. They never make it through the front door. But you can walk right in.
Okay.
What about the manager?
Take care of him wherever you find him. If any of the horse see it, well, it'll be a warning. Once he's out of the way, head to his office on the top floor. Grab any documents, money you find there, and place the explosives.
Vincenzo will see that you have what you need. And you think the blast will be big enough to give me cover?
Yeah, but be smart. Only take a shot if you know you won't get me.
So Frank, walk us through
Tommy, one more thing. One of the girls is passing Morello information about our operations. Before you blow the place, you'll need to take care of her too. You want Tommy to kill a twist?
It's just dead luck this fall. We gotta protect the family.
Great question, and
Her name is Michelle. She's usually working in one of the upper rooms. Her photo is in the folder.
You boys clear on everything?
Identifying information from the vehicle, who it was registered for example, too. And then from there, get a search warrant and perhaps execute that search warrant on a location, perhaps a residence, because I think that's what is happening right now. And then from there, you start looking at everything you can in that location, whether it's notebooks or it's computers, cell phones, or any kind of other digital recording device or storage device, to try to get into the person's mindset through the information that may be written down. And it's everything from his internet searches or her internet searches when it comes to how to build this bomb, to why they would be executing this act at this moment in time. And so that search of the residence is going to be really important at this point in time in terms of identifying any of that information that could lead to an assessment of the perpetrator's behavior. The other part of that is talking to everybody and anybody who may have known this individual, neighbors, friends, family, co-workers, anybody like that who could provide additional insight into this person's mindset. The whole idea being to try to determine that motive. And your reporter made a great point about the explosive device itself, because this information that investigators are looking for not only talks about his motive for doing this, but how he or she did it. And that's important too, because it goes into the expository information that we see on these kinds of activities, but also could it be related to something else that is out there, just to cover that base. I know that the local officials are talking about how Nashville is safe right now, but you still want to be able to cover those bases in the event that there's possibilities that others either are going to copycat this activity or maybe acting in some way or fashion that is connected to this activity.
Just make her disappear. You know her? Yeah. I've been with her a few times. She's a good egg, Tom. Just maybe not so bright. She doesn't deserve to get plugged just because she likes listening to me talk.
You think she'll leave town?
When she understands what'll happen otherwise. Yeah, she'll leave. Here's your 100. Give it to her. Make sure she gets far away.
Okay, sir. I'll see what I can do.
That's all I'm asking. Let's go.
At the same time, there's going to be residue, so there'll be and other possibilities of remnants, I guess, of the experience.
She's the one from the racetrack, right?
Tom, that was the last time we were going to talk about her. Ever. I told you what I had to ask, and you listened. Gotta leave.
Okay.
It's kind of a signature of their behavior in this action. So there's that possibility from
keep your head when you get in the hotel. Find your mark and don't act suspicious. The manager thinks he's untouchable. He'll probably walk right up to him.
Anything else I should know?
Nah, just don't take all day. Lottie died young, so there can't be much to say about him. The bomb goes off, I'll do my thing.
Got it.
This location to do what they did.
What kind of world is it that when you screw up, you get sent to a cat house? Well, I have to clean up your mess at a funeral. You see the justice in that?
I see a job I gotta do.
Such a profession. Just try to finish the job this time, huh?
You just want to cover all the bases at this point.
If you are just joining us, we are getting
first time I've been to a church in a while.
Gonna guess they're still singing the same songs.
First time I went, it was. Same songs I always heard as a kid.
Yeah, you're not the religious type.
It's the funerals, Tom. That's all it ever is. All that anyone ever wants to do is point guns at the family and shoot. Can't point to so many funerals. I just stopped going to most of them. They're all boring as hell.
That's a shame, seeing as you're always dressed for the occasion.
Great gag, Tom. Write that one down.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Now, weddings. Weddings are less boring. I'd go to one of them. You working on that?
Guess so.
Good. Because I've given up waiting on Polly. I couldn't get a broad to stick to him if they went swimming through glue.
We'll find someone.
do their best, perhaps, to
His own mother has given up
damage
hope.
to human life was
And you can
minimized.
give up hope too.
The warning, there was the countdown, so to speak. But at the same time, they're clearly indicating that they can do this. And the question is why. And that's part of, when it comes to motive.
Hey, wait.
Why did they do this? Why did they, if they did kill themselves, why did
I'll tell you what, didn't they game up in UFC, you dip it to feed this one.
send a message,
They remade it. They made it better.
Kind of message that, hey, you know,
Put Mopper in on your phone or whatever. It is. Look at the box cover. It looked different. Look back in the day though. Go, bitch! What you gonna tell a bite? How you gonna tell you fucking ass bite? When I fought for you, you gonna tell a bite? Fuck that. I should have read over your fucking ass.
Could happen or that may happen, it's important that we know that now. Where are you going? Come back to the car. This is where this becomes important too. Are there others out there that might have similar intentions, and how can we prevent that from happening?
I'll give the family your condolences. Good luck. You too.
On the ground now. We're seeing these aerial pictures, and you and I, when the news is just breaking yesterday, we were remarking at just how incredible these pictures were. Now that you're on the ground, explain to us just how extensive the damage is what we're seeing.
Yeah, so we can't get into the area where we saw all of those pictures yesterday morning and through the day yesterday. We can't get into those areas, and in fact, the FAA has put flight over restrictions over the airspace there, so the news is getting all of that.
How about I get this up eat? We got kind of home anyway.
Instead of the station, we don't have that today. But I've been able to walk around some of the streets that they've opened here in downtown Austin, and there's glass. And this is blocks away from really the epicenter of this explosion. There's glass all over several of the streets. Also today, as I walked through some of the streets that have been reopened, there were FBI agents and ATF agents that were walking side by side in what is a grid search, essentially, looking for evidence, pieces of debris, pieces of anything really that they can use to try and gather all this evidence and kind of put together, as we heard the U.S. Attorney say this.
And I got some business with your
manager.
manager.
There aren't a lot of people here. There have been some people who've been coming by, want to see what's going on, want to see some of what the police are out here. People who live here have been bringing food to the police officers, water. So it's been a lot of community outreach for the first responders here. And then behind us, just a couple of blocks down, about 4 or 5 blocks, is where all the debris is. The burned out cars, the buildings that collapsed, and that 18T building saw some of the most severe damage. Metal beams and steel columns came crashing down after the explosion. And really what it shows you, when you look at the damage to the vehicles and to some of the buildings, just how hot.
I need to talk to the manager.
Yeah, head straight through the lounge. You're with our new business partners, I assume.
Practically melted. And the RV, we don't see the RV in any of the pictures because that clearly was destroyed during the explosion. So police really need to find that piece of evidence to connect it to a suspect. Obviously, they found human tissue. They found this body part, so they're analyzing that. And they're just continuing here. We've seen them out here all day, and they're continuing to work through a lot of that destruction and a lot of that.
Shimon, stand by. I understand we have a reporter, Natasha Chen, also on the ground in Antioch, Tennessee. Hi there, Natasha. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Emma, we've been here for several hours on the side so that you can see the federal authorities here. What the FBI public information officer told me is that these are teams conducting court-authorized activity, and that's how he phrased it. He wouldn't say anything more about what's going on. But what we understand is that first there was a team of bomb technicians that cleared the property to make it safe for the evidence teams to go in. And that's what we've been observing for the past couple of hours. People with ATF, with the FBI evidence teams going into that house that you see there on the corner. And what we understand is that they are really going through very methodically to document everything. photographing what they see in their place, inside the house, documenting that, and then, if necessary, bringing any evidence out of the house. This process can take several hours, so it's been us basically watching agents coming in and out of the property. Now, in talking to some of the neighbors that live around here, we understand that a couple of the neighbors have seen an RV parked on that property before, and I believe that we have also seen an RV parked there via Google Street Images. And when I showed them those particular images, they did recognize the same RV. They were saying that, you know, perhaps they hadn't come out as much during the colder weather, but had definitely seen that RV parked there over the summer. A third neighbor also recognized that. And what these neighbors tell me is that they have not actually seen the resident of this home coming out much, so they don't know the person who lives there. The particular three neighbors I spoke to, at least, do not know the person who lives there. But this has been a very active scene pretty much all day, with a lot of neighbors very perplexed at what's going on. But again, the FBI does tell me that this is a court-authorized activity, and we have seen agents coming in and out of the house for several hours now. First with bomb technicians, of course, making it safe, making sure it's safe for them to enter, and then having them, you know, seeing them go through and document everything, bringing out evidence. So this is a very detailed process, and the neighbors are definitely highly interested in watching this happen, but a lot of them also discussing now who lives there, and that very noticeable RV that has been parked there for months, Amara.
Natasha, did the neighbors say anything about what the RV looked like? Did they see the photos that we have been showing here on CNN of that surveillance video of that RV that exploded in this bombing? Did they say the RV that was parked on the driveway of that house resembles the one in this photo here?
So I showed them the Google Street Images we had pulled up for that property, showing an RV parked there in months and years past, and they did recognize the one from the Google Street Images. One of the neighbors who spoke to us actually said that, you know, when he saw the agents pull up here to start working at this property, he recalled that there was an RV there and thought that it might be connected. He did recognize and make that connection in his mind. But of course, this is all just neighbors really perplexed at this point, trying to make any sort of connection and understand what's happening.
Really interesting. So Natasha Chen, appreciate her reporting. She is in Antioch, Tennessee, which is a neighborhood of Nashville, which is about 12 miles southeast of Nashville. Very interesting information Natasha is getting as she is reporting that there are evidence teams that are conducting some kind of search of this property, where neighbors say that they have seen an RV parked on the property. And here's video of some of the teams just moments ago taking out brown bags of presumably evidence related to this massive explosion that we saw happen in Nashville, downtown Nashville, on Christmas morning. Shimon, to you, let's start from the beginning and take us through the timeline of how all of this happened up until this point, with your sources telling you they believe that this is likely a suicide bombing.
Yo, Michelle.
What's it to you?
A fella named Sam is one of your regulars.
Maybe there's a lot of guys named Sam.
You know him. Works for Don Salieri. Maybe you got him talking about our business from time to time, and maybe Don Morello offered you some money to spill what you heard.
No, Sam, trust me. I don't say nothing. He knows that.
The Don's losing a lot of money because someone can't keep their mouth shut.
Fucking guys with some of Morello's girls. I didn't mean nothing by it. Tell him I'm sorry. Tell us I will never open my mouth again.
I know.
potential bomb in this RV. And the other thing they did was they called for the bomb squad to respond.
You scared then?
As the bomb squad is responding, and people at this point had
Don't you ever forget how it feels to be this scared. To know you're just one twitch away from a hole in the ground. Because if you ever show your face in this town again, they're going to find you with 2 in the head.
Black smoke that burned
Do you understand?
For quite some time here in downtown Nashville. And then I think it's a couple of hours.
Lucky for you, Sam's got a big heart.
The police responded.
Get dressed and make tracks. This place is going to blow soon.
They were able to say that this was an intentional bombing, which is something you don't often see in these situations. So
Just don't come back and we're square.
Almost immediately that led them to believe that this was intentional. After that, they started their investigation looking for video, and they found a video clip of the RV a couple of hours before the bombing, around 1:20 a.m. They see the video of the RV driving not far from here around 1:30 in the morning. They then put that photo out. The police say with the FBI, they then put the photo out and asked for the public's assistance in identifying the RV. And that ultimately may have proved to be the biggest clue here for law enforcement. We know that the police have received 500 tips, some of them involving that RV. And it is my understanding it is the tip about the RV is what led to law enforcement, for the police and the FBI to respond to this location where Natasha is. Investigators do believe that that RV, at this point, based on the photos and based on the markings that they see, that RV is the same RV that was used in the bombing threat. They don't know that 100%, certainly they haven't said that they do, but that is something certainly that they believe based on the photos and the markings of the RV.
A lot of developments.
At some point last night.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of developments.
Absolutely. A lot of developments to talk about thanks to you and your reporting, Shimon Prokupez and Natasha Chen, who is outside this home about 11 miles southeast of Nashville, where we saw teams carrying out bags and bags of evidence. Neighbors saying that they had seen an RV on that property. The question is this the bomber's home? We don't have the answer to that. But we're going to continue to follow this breaking news coverage. Investigators believing that this is likely a suicide bombing in Nashville. Much more after this break.
Somebody do it back. Help me, wait.
I brought Sam, Boston Liars. We're all friends now.
Need to promote your small business now more than ever? Get 10 free insights. Create websites, emails, social posts, and more quickly and easily. Shutterstock. Start your free trial today.
When I was younger, my hair made me feel really beautiful. When my hair started to thin, it really made me feel old.
I first noticed hair loss after giving birth to my first daughter. It was really coming out pretty dramatically. I was feeling pretty hopeless, and then I decided to do something.
I went to my hairdresser, and he told me about Viviscal. Once I started taking Viviscal, my hair is full, it's rich again. I love the way it feels. It's wonderful.
Reclaim.
Oh, you bite? Wait.
You, fully you. Viviscal is the clinically proven
Wait. Somebody doing a Nike.
That has worked for millions of women of every age and hair type. I was really surprised by the result.
What hair did though? They doing a Nike.
I felt a really big sense of relief when my hair was coming back. It was like, okay,
what?
I look like myself.
The secret is amino, a proprietary collagen complex that nourishes hair follicles and promotes the growth and thickness of existing hair. Studied among women, 92% reported an increase in hair volume, and 94% experienced thicker hair.
For my patients with hair loss, Viviscal is drug-free. It's a supplement that's easy to take, and it works.
Viviscal has made me embrace, appreciate, and love my natural hair.
I'm back to feeling more vibrant, more youthful. More hair is awesome.
Order now and we'll send you a full 3-month supply of
Viviscal, and you'll only pay $39.99 to get started. And shipping is free. Plus, you'll get a complete, nourishing, healthy breakfast, including a full-size leave-in elixir, which 9 out of 10 women say their hair appears thicker and fuller in just 1 week. All this, an $80 value, free. If you don't absolutely love your result, just send back what you don't use. Just for trying Viviscal.
So did.
You can find Viviscal at retailers everywhere, but this special TV offer is only available by calling the number on your screen or going to tryviviscal.com.
USAA Insurance is made just the way Martin's family needs it. With hassle-free claims, he got paid before his neighbor even got started. Because doing right by our members, that's what's right. USAA. What you're made out of, we're made for.
Breaking news this afternoon, grim new data from Johns Hopkins University showing that 1 in 1,000 Americans have died. I want to bring in CNN medical analyst Jonathan Reiner. He is a professor of medicine at George Washington University. Doctor, good to see you. First off, I want to show you another figure. The CDC saying nearly 2 million vaccine doses have been administered in the U.S. so far, with nearly 10 million doses being delivered. What do these new numbers tell you about the current state of the crisis in the U.S. and how the vaccine rollout is going?
Hi, Amar. Well, as for the vaccine, it tells us that we have a long way to go. 2 million vaccines seems like a lot, 1 million per week, but at that rate it would take us about 5 years to vaccinate all the people we need to in this country. So we really need to really learn from our initial experience and start getting many more shots in the Army for America. We have 8 million doses available to go, and there's no time to wait. As for the toll in this country, 1 in 1,000 people dying is unimaginable toll. It didn't need to be this bad. Our performance has been among the worst in the world. For example, Germany, a country with about a quarter of our population, has 30,000 deaths. So if you normalize that amount for the U.S. population, we would have about 120,000 deaths. Still an enormous toll. But about 220,000 people who are dead now would be alive. So there'll be time for us to learn when this is over where all the mistakes were made.
Oh, you don't know about Bobcat no more? Wait.
Devastating toll.
Well, what have we learned so far about what kind of mistakes have been made and why we are faring so terribly here in the U.S.? Is it the lack of testing? Is it the fact that the states are all kind of taking this piecemeal approach? And so, we have open borders, obviously, between the states. What are the factors?
It took us too long to build our testing program. We've never had a federal testing program that was farmed out to the states. We never had federal leadership really mandating or enthusiastically promoting masking. We allowed the states to open their own feeds, sometimes define CDC regulations, and on and on and on. Even today, we still don't have the President of the United States firmly coming out and urging all of his supporters to vaccinate. We haven't had the President get a vaccine on camera to show that this is safe and effective. So many things.
I want to ask you a little bit more, Dr. Reiner, about the vaccine rollout and how it's been going. We know, obviously, in this first phase, we're seeing frontline workers getting the vaccine. I have family members who work in hospital settings.
They do.
Friends who work in hospital settings, and anecdotally, what I've been hearing, at least here in Atlanta, is that there's been a lot of frustration between hospital workers seeing nurses or doctors getting vaccinated before they are, with them saying, look, I'm in a higher risk specialty than that hospital worker. Are you anecdotally hearing the same kinds of frustrations?
At GW, the rollout seems to go pretty well. Other institutions have had a little bit more of a rocky start. I'm more concerned, frankly, about vaccine hesitancy around the United States, even amongst some healthcare workers. And we're going to have to spend a lot of time on the grassroots level of the community, educating folks that this vaccine or these vaccines are extremely safe and very, very effective. And this is really our ticket to normalcy. If you want to go to a baseball game this summer, or you have a child that is going to get married next year, and you want to get back to more of a normal life, as soon as a vaccine is made available to you, you should be getting a vaccine. You urge all your friends and neighbors to do the same. And